Good afternoon. I'm Gloria Nelson with TUG, and we're delighted you joined us this afternoon for our TUG Connects 365 programming. As you settle in, let me give a brief introduction for TUG, the usergroup.org for both our current members and those of you who represent organizations that have not yet joined our online community of Infor distribution software users. Now, we've all heard the phrase that knowledge is power, and I can say with confidence that after today's presentation, you'll be waking up tomorrow with a little more of both. TUG webinars, online forums, and member events facilitate the timely exchange of ideas and information to help you work smarter and with more confidence. No matter how you slice it, that's a powerful combination. If you're currently a member, it pays to get even more involved. And if you're not, please visit our website at theusergroup.org to discover why 2,300 heads are better than one to help you be the best at what you do. Now, before we get started, let me touch base on some housekeeping information. Plan on buckling up for about 35 to 40 minutes today. We're going to be peppering a PowerPoint presentation with Q&A, an opportunity for you to be engaged with some polling questions. So make sure that you open up your Q&A bubble on your toolbar, because that's where we're going to be fielding questions from, not from the chat window. However, you can chat with your friends in chat as well as contribute to the conversation there if you're currently using the app and want to make some adjunct comments onto the presentation. So regarding intellectual property permissions, you are invited to take screenshots and or copy the chat if it will help you to be more productive in the days ahead, or to decide if you want to move into next steps with regard to the DCKAP solution. So now, without any further ado, it is my pleasure to turn things over to Mohammed Anis, who, by the way, simply goes by Anis, kind of like Cher, right? One name word. He needs no further introduction, but he is the product manager of DCKAP. So I'm going to say, Anis, go ahead and take it away. It's all yours.
Thank you, Glory. So let me start sharing my screen. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TUG Connect. I'm Mohammed Anis, product manager from DCKAP. I have over 15 years of experience in digital and product development industry. I have been working with different clients, really cool clients across the globe. And that has been a great journey for me so far. And I'm really excited about the opportunity I have got from DCKAP. So on behalf of DCKAP community, I would like to welcome you all and virtually meeting you everyone in this session. In today's session, we would be discussing more about how to simplify commerce to the manufacturers and distributors. So before we jump onto the real agenda, let me give a quick brief about DCKAP. So DCKAP, right? DCKAP, we started with 2 computers, 2 desks, and 2 great minds. So with this, we grow across, or we have crossed over 17 years, and with now more than 200 employees around the globe. And we are very proud that we have served more than 400 clients, and mostly on the B2B side of the businesses. And we are really, really proud that we have more than 10,000 community members in the DCKAP community. And to just give a quick brief on the B2B products we have been working on over the years. So to just name a few, like we have listed, like we have DCKAP Integrator, which is a complete integration platform where it can integrate different systems in your business. So, and there's another product which is really cool, again, like the PIM, the name itself says that it's all about product information management tool. And we have a B2B product, so which takes care of your daily people relationship activities on the B2B side of this. That makes, from the B2B, we make automated systems. And then we have the headless, which is the big thing. And we have been experimenting on this more. And we have seen a great results because through our DCKAP headless, we are challenging that any system or any website or any application loads within a second. It's lightning fast when we have DCKAP headless. So we are really proud of what we are experimenting with our products. And there are many other products related to testing and other HR related systems. But yeah, so because today we are going to focus more on the B2B, So I have just listed few of our high listed products. So it's my pleasure to share some of our clients who've been working over the years with us, and we have been working with them on integrating different ERP systems, which includes Infor as well. And we are very proud of our clients, and we are very, very grateful to work with them and to work with different industry and different streamlines across. So let's go to the real thing now. So before we jump onto the agenda, I think, Glory, can we launch our first polling question? So our first polling question is, are you currently running e-commerce for your company? Yes or no?
And the responses to the question, are you currently running e-commerce for your company, is 75% of our digital audience today are using an e-commerce solution and 25% are not. So I'm going to turn things back over to you.
Oh, that's great. So I wish the remaining 25% also gets involved with this ecosystem. Thanks, Glory, for this poll. So yeah, let's jump on to the real thing. So for today's agenda is inclusive of how to digitally automate the B2B workflow and its key challenges. And finally, we should also discuss the solution and how to make this more automated, and which will be followed by an interactive Q&A, hopefully. So it's for today's session, what we have done, I have done is I have split this into three sections. So one is the backend section, and the other one is the middleware section of the B2B business, and the final piece is on the front end section. Front end is where the real man-to-man business interaction happens, right? So let's talk first, what is the backend system? Backend system is all, like, because everyone is aware of what we are doing, like with regards to the backend, like it's all about ERP, like Infor or any other systems where we manage the inventories, pricing, orders, shipments, and whatnot, right? Everything we manage through our ERP systems. The biggest challenge here, what we see is, right? So what we see, the biggest challenge is the disconnected system across. So even though like the B2B customers have different systems in place, like ERP, CRMs, they have the sales rep systems, they have the inventory management, analytics, business intelligence tools, and whatnot. Like they have multiple systems. The biggest challenge we see is, unlike B2C, we see the disconnected between these systems. So because we cannot miss the data here, because the large chunk of data comes from customers, base, distributors, vendors, logistic providers. So we cannot ignore these data. So we have to automate it so that these data are helpful and bring it more aligned. The biggest purpose of this is the streamlining the data so that it is really purposeful for us and it really helpful for us. So how to do it? The next question is, the biggest problem we see is the disconnected systems, but now how to solve this? And what, if we have to solve this, what are the things, what are the criteria should I take into consideration? So that's what we're going to see here. Because with the massive digitization happening in the B2B industry, be it a customer engagement, sales, purchase, ordering, logistics, shipping, and whatnot, even any core components, right, in the day-to-day businesses, the biggest thing is it all has to be connected together and sync between easily. So what it does, like if you have the integrator, what it should do? So what it should do is it should multitask everything. Like for example, like if you change a small thing in your ERP, it automatically has to flow across every system at the same time and fast without any further delay. It has to spread across. And how to spread across? You don't have to manually send each data to every system. Hey, send this data to this particular CRM. Hey, send this data to this particular email. I don't have to do everything manually. So what we need is, along with the multitasking, we also need the automated integrations. Once I switch on one thing, it automatically switch on every other systems. And what happens is, of course, it improves our day-to-day efficiency on the operations. And of course, and for example, easily handling of inventory, pricing, and whatnot. Everything can be handled. For example, if you are updating your inventory stock in one place, it automatically spreads across to different systems and says that, okay, hey, this stock is new and this product has come in new and this product is going out of stock. So I have to be very careful. And if I have to promote anything, it gets the information. If a new product comes in, it flows across the system without any manual intervention, right? So that it helps us to promote more, plan more. And so we can set our, because of this, we can set our goals as well. Like this will give us the better understanding to what is the right goals we have to set for our business for the next quarter, for the next year. So based on that, like that's where the integration comes into play. So before the next screen, I would like to show some sample of how this integration happens, or how it gets communicated between two systems. Before I jump on to some samples screenshots, I would have Gloria again to launch our second polling questions. So our second polling question is your ERP connected with your e-commerce site? Yes or no?
And I just want to add that if you're in a digital audience here, we've only heard from about half of you. We'd like to just see maybe one or two more responses to be able to give Anise a real opportunity to understand what your needs are and where you are in your day-to-day work process. Wonderful. We're going to end the poll now. And the results show that 57% do have their sites connected to their ERP, while 43% currently do not. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you, Anise.
Thanks, Glory, for this poll. That's really helpful. So without further delay, I'll just show some of the samples, quick samples, like what actually the integration does. So what integration has to do here is it has to integrate between two systems. It can be any systems to that matter, like because every business is different, every system is different, every industry is different. So that can be like a e-commerce system on the one side, the ERP on the other side, Info on the other side. So it can be any two systems, right? So the biggest thing what we have to take care here is it should easily communicate between these two systems and map between these two systems. The map in the sense like this, the one system will follow a different set of rules on handling fields, handling data, but the other systems will handle the same data, but in a different fashion. For example, the one system will handle the first name and last name as a two separate fields, but the other system or other ERP may handle this as a single field, name it as a customer name, for example, right? Here we need to map and align it properly so that the first name and last name concordinates together, map together, and sends the data as one field to the other system. And if need, and the vice versa as well, if you have to split, like example, addresses. In few cases, we have addresses as a multiple lines. In few cases, we have 2 lines. So in few cases, we have 3 lines, 3 different lines in entering the addresses. So all these kind of mapping, sometime in cases like, for example, the products, in few cases, we've the product is being identified through the SKUs. In few systems, instead of SKU, they refer it as part numbers. So all this kind of mapping should be easy because we are connecting 2 different systems, 2 different softwares. So that's why the mapping should be easy when you think of any integration platform. And of course, the next big thing is the flow designer. So we have to set the rules. Okay, hey, this is where the flow should go. This is how the flow should go. The first, the data goes into the ERP system or Infar, and then it goes to other system where it handles the product information. And then finally, it's channelized to different websites or out any feed systems as well. So we should have the complete control to design how the data has to flow. And the final thing, the major thing which we think is that multi-platform integrations, because this is not a one-on-one communication. We should have the communication across multiple systems together. So we should have, like, let's name a pipe. So we should have the different pipes to be connected to the different locations, different systems. So that pipe should be very flexible, to be connected across the systems. So I think that these are the three major things which has to be covered when we think of any integration platforms. So as we come to the end of the first part, the backend system, so how to sort this out, how to achieve this challenges. So that's where the DCKAP integrator comes into play, and it exactly does whatever I was explaining so far. It makes everyone's job easy. It's like kind of make it automated, reduce the man effort. The biggest thing is it reduces the cost. You don't have to have multiple people to do the same thing again and again to handle it in the different systems. So that's where the DCKAP integrator comes into play and makes automated and reduces the man effort. So before moving on to the middleware section, I would pause for a few seconds to see if anybody has any questions.
I think, do have a question here. We do not have an IT team, but can we manage the integration easily?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, of course. That's where the integrator comes into play, where we don't need any kind of manual interferences, manual entry, and there are possibilities of manual errors as well if we have multiple people doing the same job in multiple locations or multiple systems. That's why we bring this integration. So you don't have to be, we don't need any kind of a specialized IT team across. We just have to enter it in one place, and it takes care of everything across different systems by sending the data. So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, also, Brian Weaver asks in chat, Brian, I'm going to ask you to make sure going forward that you put your question so everyone can see it in the Q&A bubble. He says it's easy to integrate with either SX. He said, is it easy to integrate with either SXC or CSD?
Can you repeat again? Sorry about that question.
Brian asks, is it easy to integrate with either SXE or CSD? Is it just as easy for both of those ERPs to integrate?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Thanks again for this clarification.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter here in regards to the integrator, right? We just have the generic pipe we can create for different systems, because we have integrated with multiple systems, not only this, and should be very easy irrespective of what ERP they are into.
And that looks like the extent of our questions right now. So I'm going to hop back off camera and let you continue on.
Perfect. Thanks, Gloria. And that was a great question from Bran. So let's move on to our next part, where the middleware, right? So biggest thing we see here is the middleware. So before I jump on to what the middleware is, what the PIM is, right? I want to just give some like a scenario, right? That interesting scenario. Just it happened a few days back. One of the prospect came to us and asked, like, hey, Anis, we have 8 different websites across 8 different geographical locations. But it's kind of a nightmare when I have to update a single product information, or if I have to change the price of a single product, it's a nightmare for me. I have to update the price on each and every systems or every geographical location manually, and I have to do it 8 or 9 times together to just update one single small field. So that was interesting to know, and that's like, but it's like I was that was interesting to learn from him, and that's where we suggested, okay, hey, you may need this PIM solution. So what is PIM generally, right? It's a centralized repository for your product data. So what it does is, like, before we discussed about the ERP, where you handle the inventory, where you handle the pricing, but when it comes to PIM, it's all about the product descriptions, product images, product videos, YouTube videos, and whatnot. Everything related to the PIM can be handled through one centralized data repository. So from there, you can create n number of products, n number of attributes, whatnot, images, product assets, everything can be handled in one system and channelized so that it sends it to the different locations or different websites, or if it can be based on the languages, it can be based on different geographical locations. So you don't have to, like an example, as I said, like you don't have to update the product description, or if I don't have to update the product image on 9 different locations. If I have the 9 different websites, I can everything control through one system, centralized, and I can pass on that info easily. And I update it in one place, and it just within a click of a button, it updates in all the different channels and different websites across. It can be a website, it can be a marketplace, it can be an ERP, whatnot. So everything can be handled through one system. So the PIM is all about the product information. And of course, the reason behind is easily, it has to be translated because many customers are multilinguistic. So the French store needs a French product info, and the German store needs the information, the same product information in the German language, right? So everything has to be, can be done from the single source of truth. So that's where the PIM comes into play. It reduces the manual errors, and any information here should be globally accessed. We have that flexibility, and we should have any PIM to that matter. We should have that flexibility. So let me show some example here, quick examples here. So what actually the key things when we have to, when we are looking to have the PIM solution, what are the things to look for? So we should have the flexible import option, because we are going to import the data from different systems. It can be a feed, it can be an ERP, it can be a info or whatnot. It can be even the small basic Excel sheet or CSV files as well. So we should have that flexibility to import the data from any systems it may need. So we need that flexibility, and we need the connectors for different systems. Easy connector. I should be able to easily connect to the different ERPs, and I should not break my heads to install it. So as rightly mentioned in the question section, I do not need any kind of an IT person to do this job. So no IT persons are required. So it should be automated connector. So in a click of a button, it should easily connect. We need that kind of a PIM solution. And of course, because when you update the product, you have tons of rules across. Okay, hey, I want to update the price of this particular category. Okay, hey, this is the holiday season. I want to give a discount. So I have to, in which product I want to give a discount in all the electronics products, let's say, right? So I don't have to go and update the price for all the single electronics product. So what I have to do is just go here, set the rules. Hey, update the price for this particular category or this particular family or particular attributes. Okay, hey, change the price. Give the discount of 10% for all the products inside this electronics category. So in a single rules, I can update the price for hundreds of products together. I don't have to change the price on each and every single product. So that's the biggest thing of the PIM. And again, as I said, you don't have to update it again and again for multiple websites as well. And it should be channel readiness. Channel in the sense, again, as I said, it can be a different websites, it can be a marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, or anything, or it can be ERP systems. It can be anything that to that matter. So I can channelize that. Hey, this products goes into my Amazon store. Hey, this products goes into my eBay store. This products goes into my website of the French website. This specific product goes to my English website. It can be anything. I can channelize based on the geographical location. I can channelize based on language. It can be based on the marketplaces, whatnot. I should have that flexibility to channelize on the different needs. So how to do it? Like I'm just like, because earlier we saw that disconnected systems. So I'm just trying to show you a simple flow diagram of how it should be, how the automated B2B system should look like. So first, the ERP system, InfoR comes into play, where we have the inventories, product informations, pricing, dynamic pricing, and whatnot. And then it sends the data to the PIM, and PIM gets additional product information from, if needed, from additional product content aggregators, and the PIM enriches the product content and channelize and spreads across different websites. It can be, as I say, it says, like in website in English, website in French, website in Spanish, or it can be based on the geographical location as well. So it should be so simple. We thought that, okay, this would be the best example to show how that automated systems should look like for the B2B. And yeah, as we are closing the second piece of middleware here, so what can be done, how to achieve this product information problems, so that I can handle everything in the centralized system. That's where the DCKAP PIM comes into play to handle everything product, either it can be images, descriptions, videos, product documents. So before I jump on to the third part of our and final piece of our session, Glory, can we have our final polling question? So what are some of your current pain points? Is it regarding the ERP integrations? Is it regarding managing inventory and pricing, managing product information, or even e-commerce website itself, or any other, right? So you can start your polling.
I'm looking, and hopefully maybe one or two more people will come out of the ethers once again and jump on and give us an answer. And if you do have other that is not listed in your pain point, if you would be so kind as to please drop that into the chat window, that would be great. All righty. 50% of our digital audience today said that their main pain point was managing inventory along with pricing. 25% said managing product information, and 25% said e-commerce website itself was the challenge, the actual site. So I'm going to flip it back to you, Anise.
Oh, thanks, Glory. That was interesting. Yeah. I saw that there was challenges with regards to the managing inventory and product information. That was interesting. And that's where the PIM and integration comes into play to make it more seamless communication across the systems. So, and also, right, before I jump onto the product pricing, I'll also pause for a few seconds to see if anybody has any questions.
Let me jump on here. Here's Brian. Brian, thanks for posting another question. Brian says, does the PIM need to pull the information from the ERP, or can the vendor info be uploaded into the PIM, say from a vendor spreadsheet, updates, and then push the updates to the ERP?
Yes, it can be either. That can come from the ERP, or that can come from directly from vendor through a CSV file, or sometime through the feed as well. That's where the PIM should take care, and it should be flexible to connect directly from pull data from ERP, and also it should have the flexibility to collect data directly from the CSV files as well. So it should have both the flexibility.
Brian says thank you in the chat window, and there's also another question. We have 5 different sites for different geographical locations. Can the PIM take care of the same?
Of course, yes, that's what I was trying to say that. Yeah, it can be based on different geographical location. It can be even based on multilingual systems. So it can be spread out across based on different reasons. But for everything, I think the PIM should be able to take care of it and channelize it across, and you can set the rules easily.
Great questions, Brian. Okay, I'm going to turn things back to you again, Anise, so you can go ahead and bring this on home.
Thanks, Brian, for a great question. So let's jump on to the final piece of product pricing and the quotes negotiation, right? That's where the real, the human interaction happens, where the customers and the vendors start discussing, the sales rep and vendors, sales reps and customers start discussing. So the DCKAP B2B, right? That's where like when the real business happens on the front end piece of it, right? Okay, hey, unlike the B2C, right? How we order on the Amazon, you see a product, you like it, you add the product to the cart, you purchase it. That's how we do in Amazon. But when it comes to the B2B, we don't do the business in that such fashion. So because it's all about B2B, what we do is we generally first send a quote request, then we get a price, then we call them back, we get the request from the customer service team and saying that, oh, hey, this is the price we can offer. And then we call them back to the customer service team and say that, hey, I'm not happy with the price. Can I get the further discount because I'm ordering on the bulk? So, and then all this manual process happens. And then sometimes you have the sales reps go and sell directly to the customer. Instead of the customer, sales rep places you the order here. So there are multiple challenges. Generally, it happens when it comes to the front end piece of it. And sometimes, right, unlike how we purchase in Amazon or any other website, you go, you see a product, you search a product, you buy it. But in B2B, I don't have to go. I should not have the same experience. I should have my personalized experience when I come into the website. So what that means is that, for example, I'm the vendor and I sell only this electronics product. But that means when I come to the website, your website, the website should show just the electronics product, not the other product, which is irrelevant to me because I'm going to order in a bulk. I don't have to go, I don't have time to figure it out where the electronics products are. So I should have the personalized experience in the website when I when I logs in. So if I'm a fashion business owner, that means that I want to see only the fashion products. I don't want to see the electronics product. So that's where the personalized experience, that which what we call it as microsites. When I log in, I see a complete different websites and different products. When the other customer vendor logs in, he sees the complete different websites. So we need all these features in our day-to-day activities to make the process seamless. And even with this quotes and negotiation, right? Instead of calling to the sales rep and negotiating and sending the quotes manually through a fax or through the email and then waiting for the response, all that. So let's automate the system. So you create a quote, you get that easily sends to this admin, and admin reviews the quote. He sends the price back. And if you're happy, you start right away, start purchasing it. Or if you're not happy, you just automatically says that, okay, hey, I'm not happy here, negotiate, I want further negotiation or further discount. So everything is happening automatically in the system, not through the phone or fax. So how does, like, let me show some example here. So here we get like different tons of quotes here. Some customer says that, okay, you can see the different status of a quote. Okay, hey, this quote has come in, so it's still in pending state. So the quote, then it's you approve the quote with a new price. If he's happy, he purchases and completes the order. And if he's not happy, he negotiates further. So everything is happening through the system, not through the phone call or any manual involvement. So, and then finally negotiation happens and says that, okay, I'm happy with your negotiated price. And then finally goes and says that, okay, I want to purchase it. Negotiation in the sense is not only with the price, it can be based on with the quantity, because we are dealing with bulk orders. So that, okay, I can offer you for $8 per product if you order 1,000 in the quantity, in thousands. If you order 10, I will not be able to give you at this rate. So all these kind of negotiations can be done automatically through the system. And as I said, the microsites, the personalized experience to different customers. If the first customer comes in, I see a different set of websites, different look and feel. And if the other customer logs in into the same website, he sees or she sees a different set of products, a different set of elements in the website, whatever is relevant to them. So we are trying to minimize day-to-day activity here, where the negotiation can be automated, quotes can be automated, bulk order can be automated, microsites is more automated so that it's more personalized to them. So this is another big feature we think as the front end piece of it. So where the quotes, negotiations, sales reps, bulk order, everything happens through the system. Nothing does, because we don't have to maintain different systems for sales rep as a separate systems. We need a big customer service team to handle all this negotiations and customer updates. So for all that, we have a great product. DCKAP B2B just takes care of day-to-day B2B activities. So I think with all this, I think we have covered the key agenda, key purpose of this session. And I hope this session was thoughtful, and I hope you all enjoyed this session. You had a great time. And here are my contact information.
And I believe that Jacqueline is in the digital audience who works with you at DCKAP. And Jacqueline, I'm going to ask if you'd be so kind to go ahead and drop in Anis's email address as well as your company website. That allows those of you who are online that would like to explore more, reach out to Anis and ask a question, or jump in and look at their offerings, that they can go ahead and take that immediate call to action. Ryan Weaver has a question here. He says, is there an AI artificial intelligence capability? For example, if a client offers X, will the platform allow it to suggest to a client a complementary product, as other orders have historically? You know, I mean, we see that on Amazon all the time, and various other portals like Home Depot. Those are my favorite go-tos. So what say you, Anis?
Yes, definitely. Right. We read the data in a different format. In different aspects, we read the data and try to suggest as close as possible, for sure. Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else that's populated here. Yes, one more question. How often do you give updates for your products, and is it available for all of your customers?
Oh, wow. That's great. So of course, like we have the long list of the product updates available, and we have the great roadmaps. So for the years come on, like for every quarter, we at least launch updates, and it automatically updates to all our existing clients so that we follow the latest trends in the industry, and we don't miss any trends in the market. We try to be keep updated and same to everyone. So even our existing customer will get the updates automatically.
That's great to hear. Well, I don't see any other questions populating. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and take control back. And first of all, thank you, Anis, for the great, robust content that you shared today, as well as all of you who joined us in our digital audience. This presentation will be available on our forum in 1 to 2 business days. So keep a watch in the all members board, where we post the links to view this in a post recording, or to share it with another one of your colleagues. Now, our next scheduled webinar will be this Friday, June 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, with Steve Blessing, ERP Manager from Gypsum Management and Supply. He's going to be talking to us about the best practices for GL balancing on Infor SXE and CSD suites. So watch your inbox for the invitation for this member-led, who also, by the way, happens to be an expert, webinar program, because we always have on our website the upcoming programs, as well as the historical data that we have available to view as well. So we'd like to invite those of you who are members of TUG to continue this discussion in our online members only forums. And for those of you who are not yet members, please hop on over to www.theusergroup.org and join TUG today. Those boards alone are 24 karat gold, and many say worth the price of admission. So thanks again for joining us, everyone. And as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.